Amidst shifting sands and silent stones, beneath the veil of countless millennia, lie mysteries that could forever alter our understanding of the past. Secrets that ignite the imagination and compel us to question established truths. Today, we journey into a world where myths intertwine with reality, where the gods of antiquity might not be mere figments of imagination, but rather representatives of an advanced civilization that left an indelible mark on humanity's genes. We speak of a bold hypothesis, that we are the result of genetic engineering, the product of experiments conducted at the dawn of time, and that traces of these experiments, like the source code of our DNA, are hidden within ancient artifacts. Imagine a world where the majestic Egyptian pyramids are not just tombs for pharaohs, but giant laboratories, where the Maya did not worship gods, but studied genetic codes, and where enigmatic civilizations, known to us only through fragments of legend, possess technologies beyond our modern comprehension. A world in which we, Homo sapiens, are the result of deliberate intervention in the evolutionary process. The idea that mankind was created and did not evolve naturally is as old as time itself. Myths about gods creating humans from clay, blood, or other materials appear in diverse cultures. But in the context of modern science and archaeology, this idea takes on a new significance. If the ancient gods were not supernatural beings, but a highly developed civilization with technologies that allowed them to manipulate genetic material, then myths might be distorted memories of events that occurred many thousands of years ago. A crucial element of this hypothesis hinges on the assumption of a source code, a kind of instruction manual dictating our genetic structure. Where then do we seek such knowledge? Perhaps in ancient artifacts, holding encrypted information. These might be intricate symbols, enigmatic images, ancient texts, everything we've come to consider evidence of religious beliefs or cultural traditions. But what if something more is hidden behind these symbols? Information about our origins, about those who created us, and the goals they pursued? The story of seeking this truth begins with the earliest archaeological discoveries. For centuries, scientists, researchers, and enthusiasts have tirelessly studied ancient civilizations, trying to understand their culture, beliefs, and technology. However, some findings raise far more questions than answers, plunging researchers into a vortex of new mysteries. Take, for instance, the mysterious Sumerian culture, which emerged in Mesopotamia approximately 6,000 years ago. The Sumerians, who left behind a sophisticated writing system, complex mathematical knowledge, and impressive architecture, believed in the existence of gods, the Anunnaki, who had come from the heavens and created humankind. Their ideas about the universe, recorded on clay tablets, still intrigue researchers today, prompting questions about possible extraterrestrial intervention in human history. Sumerian texts such as the Epic of Gilgamesh tell of gods endowed with incredible abilities. These ancient writings also mention genetic experiments aimed at creating humans. This might seem like mere myth, but many archaeologists note the striking accuracy of Sumerian descriptions, which are subsequently confirmed by scientific data. Professor Samuel Noah Kramer, one of the leading specialists on Sumerian civilization, in his work, History Begins at Sumer, emphasized that the Sumerians, who appeared suddenly in history, possessed knowledge exceeding the capabilities of other civilizations of that time. He noted their deep understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and medicine, as well as their desire to learn about the world around them. This fact, along with the mentions of powerful gods, raises many questions. Where did the Sumerians get this knowledge, these incredible gifts? Similar questions arise when studying other ancient civilizations. In ancient Egypt, for example, we see amazing skill in building pyramids, accuracy in astronomical calculations, and complex religious ideas, including faith in gods who are believed to have guided the process of human creation. The enigmatic Sphinx, a statue with the body of a lion and the head of a human, is yet another symbol that may hint at a mysterious connection between humanity and divine beings. Who erected these magnificent pyramids? How could the ancient Egyptians orient them with such precision to the cardinal directions, without the aid of modern instruments? For thousands of years, these questions have gone unanswered, stirring the imagination and prompting contemplation of the secrets hidden within the depths of history. These are questions to which modern science sometimes struggles to provide a definitive answer. In Central America, like a frozen echo of bygone eras, the Mayan civilization left behind evidence brimming with mysteries and riddles. Their complex calendrical systems, developed writing, and incredible knowledge of astronomy inspire both awe and genuine wonder. The Maya believed in gods who descended from the heavens to impart knowledge of the world. Their texts, carved in stone and carefully preserved by time, contain mentions of genetic experiments, of the creation of humans from corn and other seemingly impossible materials. Archaeological excavations in ancient Mayan cities, such as Tikal and Palenque, have unearthed numerous artifacts that may hold encrypted information. The hieroglyphs adorning temples and palaces hold the key to understanding their history and beliefs. Yet deciphering these ancient symbols remains a complex and laborious process, one still unfinished to this day. Many symbols remain unsolved, their meanings still debated among scholars. But let's return to our source code. Where might this enigmatic code be hidden? Theories abound, suggesting it could be encrypted within various artifacts, from yellowed ancient texts to intricate symbols carved into stones. But what exactly could this code represent? One possibility is genetic information, skillfully encoded in complex symbols or images, meticulously concealed from prying eyes. Scientists propose bold speculations that ancient civilizations might have possessed knowledge of genetics, centuries ahead of their time. Perhaps they utilized this knowledge to manipulate genes, creating new species, altering nature, or improving existing creations. Another possibility involves information concerning the technologies used in human creation. Could these be blueprints, detailed instructions, or intricate diagrams meant to help us understand how certain gods conducted their experiments? This information might be meticulously encrypted within various artifacts, from ancient metallic objects holding secrets to complex structures mysteriously towering over the earth. Deciphering this code could provide answers to the most crucial questions: who we are, where we came from, and what is our true purpose for existing. It might even open doors to a world we haven't dared to dream of. But even this holds potential danger, capable of leading to catastrophe. The moment we gain access to the so-called source code, we might discover that our entire history is merely a carefully planned scenario, that we are simply a product of someone else's will, and our much-vaunted freedom of choice is just a deception of the senses. In this context, the example of the Antikythera mechanism is particularly interesting. A complex device raised from the bottom of a sunken ship off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera. This mechanism, created more than 2,000 years ago, was a real analog computer, predicting the movement of celestial bodies. Its striking complexity stirs the imagination and makes us consider the technological level achieved by the ancient Greeks. Some researchers suggest that the Antikythera mechanism was created not only for astronomical purposes, but also for solving other problems related to genetics or other technologies now lost to us. Perhaps it was part of a far more complex system, one that governed processes still beyond our comprehension. We must also recall the famous Nazca lines, giant geoglyphs carved upon the vast desert plateau in Peru. These lines, depicting animals, people, and intricate geometric figures, are only visible from a bird's-eye view. Their true purpose remains a mystery to this day, causing researchers to ponder the reasons behind their creation. Some scholars suggest the enigmatic Nazca lines might have served as instruments for astronomical observations, or as sites for religious rituals. Others maintain that these giant geoglyphs served as landing sites for flying machines, supporting the hypothesis of contact with advanced extraterrestrial civilizations. Professor Maria Reiche, who dedicated more than 20 years to the study of the Nazca lines, proposed a theory that these images represent a complex system closely linked to astronomical phenomena and the distribution of water resources. However, her theory does not reveal all the secrets held within these ancient geoglyphs. We must also remember the famous Book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible. It tells the story of the creation of the world and humankind. But if we set aside the religious context and view this book as an encrypted message, we might find hints of genetic experiments. For instance, the story of creating Adam and Eve from clay and a rib could very well be a metaphor for genetic manipulation. In this regard, it's worth recalling the research of Professor Zechariah Sitchin, who translated Sumerian clay tablets and claimed that the gods mentioned in ancient texts were aliens from the planet Nibiru who regularly visited Earth. He suggested that they created humans by crossbreeding their genome with that of primitive hominids. This theory, though disputed by many, gained widespread fame, sparking heated debates. But what truly lies behind it? Is this theory the truth, or merely a skillful fabrication? The answer to this question proves complex and ambiguous. Modern science, unfortunately, doesn't possess sufficient data to confirm or refute this hypothesis. However, new discoveries and research continue to fuel interest in this mysterious topic. In recent years, the rapid advancements in genetics and archaeology have yielded new and sometimes staggering data, capable of fundamentally altering our understanding of the past. For instance, the deciphering of the genomes of ancient humans, such as Neanderthals and Denisovans, revealed an astonishing picture. Homo sapiens engaged in sexual relations with other hominid species. This means that the genetic material of these other species was incorporated into our genome, leaving its mark on our DNA. This fact, in turn, leads to the thought that gods, if they existed, might have used this process as a means of creating humans, through intervention in the natural course of evolution. Furthermore, new dating methods allow for the determination of the age of artifacts and discoveries with striking accuracy. This aids scientists in clarifying the chronology of historical events, identifying inaccuracies, and even re-evaluating established theories. For example, the discovery in Africa of traces of human activity dated to more than 3 million years ago forces us to take a fresh look at human evolution, expanding our understanding of the times and capabilities of our distant ancestors. However, despite all these impressive achievements, many questions still remain unanswered, shrouded in mystery. We still don't know how and when the first humans appeared, when their consciousness pierced the darkness of ignorance, opening the path to knowledge. We do not know what the true purpose of the gods was, if they ever existed, and what guided their intentions, if any. We haven't a clue where this elusive source code is located, nor how to decipher it to unlock the riddle of existence. Some skeptical scientists dismiss the genetic experiment hypothesis as a beautiful yet illusory tale, woven from hazy myths and ancient legends. They argue that ancient civilizations, despite leaving behind magnificent monuments, lacked the technology necessary to perform such complex genetic manipulations. They also point to the absence of any compelling evidence to support this bold hypothesis, which would have demanded vast resources and knowledge beyond comprehension. Other scientists, however, hold a different view, believing that the genetic experiment hypothesis might well explain many of the mysteries of antiquity. They suggest that ancient civilizations may have possessed knowledge and technologies that we, in the 21st century, are only beginning to understand. These researchers also emphasize the critical importance of further investigation and the search for new, conclusive evidence. A great many questions remain unanswered in this field. How precisely did the gods gain access to genetic material? What tools did they use for their purposes? Why did they even decide to create humans in the first place? What were their true intentions? And finally, how could we decipher this so-called source code? And what exactly would we learn by accessing it? The answers to these questions might prove not merely important, but truly revolutionary. They could forever change our understanding of humanity, its role in the universe, and its future. However, these answers could also bring forth new, previously unknown challenges and problems. If we were to discover that we are merely the result of someone else's will, it could undermine the very foundations of our morality and ethics, sowing doubt in the most fundamental beliefs. If it turns out that our free will is merely an illusion, it could lead to a profound existential crisis, plunging us into the depths of despair. In the event that we gained access to the so-called source code, we might encounter technologies and possibilities that we simply couldn't control, like a child playing with fire. In this regard, it is more important than ever to remember the necessity of caution and responsibility. Research in genetics and archaeology must be conducted with strict adherence to ethical guidelines, with a profound understanding and foresight of potential consequences. We must be prepared for the possibility that the discoveries we make will forever alter our lives, shaking the very foundations of our existence. In conclusion, It's worth saying that the enigma of gods and genetic experiments is one of the most captivating and intriguing themes in the history of humankind. Captivating minds for many centuries, it unites science, history, mythology, and philosophy, weaving together the threads of the past and the future, revealing the secrets hidden behind the veil of time. It makes us contemplate the most intimate aspects of ourselves, our origins, the purpose we pursue, and our place in the vast universe. And although many questions still remain unanswered, an unquenchable thirst for knowledge pushes researchers forward. Archaeologists, geneticists, historians, and scientists from other fields work tirelessly, seeking new evidence that will help lift the veil of mystery. New discoveries, cutting-edge technologies, and bold ideas. All this can lead to a real breakthrough in understanding our past. The future of this topic is in our hands. We are obliged to continue research, deepen our knowledge, and ask new questions. We must prepare ourselves for unexpected discoveries, revelations that could completely change our understanding of the universe. Perhaps in the foreseeable future, we will manage to decipher the source code and learn the truth about our origins. Maybe we will understand that we are not simply the result of evolution, but rather part of a grand experiment conceived by ancient gods. And who knows what horizons this knowledge will open before us? Will it allow us to grasp the secrets of immortality and gain superpowers? Or will it pose the most complex ethical questions humanity has ever faced? In any case, a journey into the past is always a captivating adventure, enticing with its mysterious nature. The deeper we delve into the history of ancient civilizations, the more questions arise in our minds, as if a bottomless well of secrets is opening up. History is not just a dry chronology of events. It is a mirror reflecting all our human manifestations. We see ourselves, our innermost hopes, irrational fears, and wildest dreams. Therefore, studying the past is vital for understanding ourselves, for realizing who we are and where we should go.